Hey guys. Um, Today I want to tell you a story about my friend Sarah. Um, Sarah's kind of part of the multiple reasons why I started this channel in the first place. But her story kind of makes a lot of sense as to how it happened, how I happened to come to this journey. Sarah is a first-time mom later in life. She's right around my age, around 40, and her husband and her had decided to work on their careers and marriage and all that good stuff, and hold off on kids until they were ready. So being a little bit older, Sarah had seen a lot of her fellow friends, her mom friends, become moms, and had heard their stories and seen kind of what they've been through. So I think Sarah kind of had an idea in her head about how motherhood would look and how it would go. I think one thing that we all probably know is that motherhood, first-time motherhood, turns your life upside down. There is nothing in this world that can prepare you for what occurs during that period. Your life is no longer about you. You don't have the ability to be selfish. You have somebody else's life is dependent on you. So nothing's easy. You can't just hop in the car, go to the grocery store or the gas station. If you're going to leave the house, it takes thought and planning, and everything is slow and can be chaotic, and life just gets hard. It's very rewarding, but it just turns your world upside down, especially that first one. Until you're in it, there's no way for you to know. So back to Sarah. She was going to have her baby right in the midst of the holiday season. And she had told us prior to that she was going to keep visitors very limited at the hospital and her home for a few months. They weren't going to go anywhere. They were going to keep the baby pretty isolated. Which made total sense. I probably would have done something very similar. So I was prepared to not see her for a little while. So she gave birth and had a healthy baby, and I tried to reach out a couple times in that time frame afterwards, and I didn't get a whole lot of a response from her, which is totally fine. I know what first-time motherhood can entail, so that was fine. I almost felt like I was getting a little pushback, like I'll let you know when I'm ready kind of thing. And so I gave her her space. I wanted to respect her wishes as best as possible, and not try to overwhelm her more. I had heard some things through the grapevine, through her husband and my husband are friends, so I was hearing some things through them that she was struggling a little bit, and things like breastfeeding wasn't going very well, and just the whole sleep deprivation, like just all the things. And like I said, when I would try to reach out, I wouldn't get much back. So I know what postpartum can do, that time frame where you might have some baby blues, you might have some postpartum depression going on. It's easy to isolate yourself, and it's easy for it to sneak up on you, and it's just easy to perpetuate that feeling of aloneness. So this was kind of the reason I started this channel, because my red flags were up for her. I knew something was going on, and I knew she was struggling, and I just had no way to really voice to her. All I wanted to say to her was, no choice that you make is a bad choice for your baby. Everything you are doing is in the best interest of your baby, and that is all you need to do. With motherhood comes immense pressure, immense pressure. We put it on ourselves. My husband told me that all the time. I don't know why you keep doing this to yourself, or why are you blaming yourself so much, and all of that stuff. It's innate. It's what we do. And it's not just from ourselves, it's from outside sources. You've got people around you who like to give their opinion. You have social media telling you what to do and what not to do. You have resources, books, documentary. You have all this stuff, all this outside noise coming in and telling you what to do and what not to do. So of course, with that immense pressure comes immense guilt and shame if you feel like you're not able to do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. On top of all of that, you have raging hormones that are worse than you've ever had in your entire life, that are just making you just overreact, overwhelm, over everything, overthink. So all of those things together, you have such guilt and shame. Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? I'm gonna do something bad for my baby. It's just so much stress to make the right choices. So let's talk about breastfeeding. Sarah had it in her mind that she had this beautiful picture of how breastfeeding would work, and I won't introduce bottles until this time, and I'm gonna have this equipment, and I'll pump it this time. And you get this idea of how beautiful and perfect breastfeeding is gonna be. It is not that easy. For some it might be, but I know a lot of people, including myself, that it was a big learning curve, and it just doesn't always work for everyone. So that being said, it didn't work out for Sarah. It didn't work out for her, for how she had planned it all out. Well, then you're faced with, I need to get bottles out. Where are my bottles? Do I have the right bottle? Formula. Don't get me started on formula. There are about 600 different ways you could go in regards to formula. And so the pressure to pick the right formula, the right bottle, oh my gosh, breastfeeding, I wasn't able to breastfeed. That means my body didn't work the way a woman's body should work. And you're just packing on the guilt, just throwing it in. If it's not formula, which formula do I use? It's what swaddler do I use? Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Should I have the baby next to my bed in a bassinet? Should I have the baby in bed with me? Should I have the baby in his own crib, in his own room? Can I sleep with the baby in a recliner? You know, I tell you what, my first 4 babies, I had started with them right next to my bed in a little bassinet. It took 1 week, maybe 2 tops, for me to move them out of the bassinet into their own room in their own crib, because there was no way I was going to sleep. I was on such high alert that any noise, any movement, anything would have me just bursting to life, ready to go. There was no sleep. I was getting none. And so the only choice that I could make, the choice that was right for me at the time, was moving baby to their own crib, their own room. And that was okay. Now, there are people that probably say, that's not safe, you shouldn't have done that. There's better ways to do it. But for me, at that time, that's the choice I made that was right for my family. When James came around, number 5, I slept in a recliner with him on my chest for 2 months, for the first 2 months of his life. Like I said, he's my 5th, so I've had 4 before that, and I tried everything, all the things that worked or didn't work for the other 4, I tried for him. He would not sleep laying in a bassinet or a crib for more than 10 minutes. It was torture. And let me tell you, you cannot drive a car on fumes. You have to have some sort of gas. And if I didn't get any good chunks of sleep, there was no way that I was going to be going anywhere. I was not going to be able to be the mom for that baby and those other kids. So I did what I had to do, and I slept with that baby on my chest for 2 months. Do you think anyone's going to nail me to the wall for that? Probably. But that's what worked for me. Motherhood is this series of denial of your needs. Like I said before, when you have a baby, you no longer get to cater to your needs. It's somebody else. And moms don't eat when they need to, don't shower when they need to. They surely don't sleep when they need to. And it goes on and on. It's just a denial of your own needs. And at some point, you're going to burn out. You're going to fail as a mother if you don't fulfill some of those needs. That's why I'm saying there is no choice that is a bad choice. You are doing what is best for you and your baby. We could talk about SIDS too. There are so many recommendations. There's so much research out there. There's probably a list of 20 things that they tell you to help prevent SIDS, which is wonderful. You can do all those right choices and still lose a baby to SIDS. You could do all the wrong choices and never have any issue or problem at all. And you can have any combination in between. No one knows what causes SIDS, at least as far as I know at this point. So it's all research. They do all the research and they give you the best recommendations that they can, and you do with it what you can. You do it to the best of your ability, and whatever choices you make are right for you and your family. So going back to Sarah, she finally got a hold of me about coming to my house to visit, and I was so excited. The moment she brought baby over, she's carrying in the car seat, the diaper bag, and some other bags full of the baby's needs, all the baby things. And I can just tell the vibe. I can read the vibe coming off of Sarah. Just this overwhelm and anxiety and stress and just exhaustion. And I can just see it in the way she's talking to me, and I just recognize it because it's something I've been through. And we sat down, we hugged, we talked, we cried, we laughed together, and I just wanted to tell her. I told her, I said, this whole time, all I wanted to tell you was, you're doing a good job. No choice you've made is a bad choice. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. You'll get there. We had a really good chat, and I got to snuggle little baby. She was just perfect, and it was just what I needed. And I think it was just what Sarah needed too. I think we all need somebody Um, I like to think that we all need this sisterhood in motherhood. We need someone to pat us on the back and tell us, hey, you're doing great. Don't give up. I'm just tired of people sugarcoating things and smiling through it. And it's like fake it till you make it. And it's not good for anyone. I remember when I was pregnant with my first, and I was at work, and a coworker came up, and she had this big smile on her face, and she's like, "Are you ready for this? Get ready for that sleep deprivation. Oh boy." And I remember being like, yeah, okay, yep, I know it's gonna be crazy. What I wish she would have said was, I wish she would have looked me in the eyes and said, this is going to be the hardest thing you ever do. It is no joke. It is going to feel like torture, but it's also the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. I just want us to tell each other the truth and be real with each other and stop making it seem like it's all sunshine and rainbows, because it is hard and it is real, and we can help each other. Women are one day going to save women. That's what somebody told me once, and I loved it. So I don't want you to feel alone. You aren't alone. So go out and find your sisterhood. One last thing. To all of the women in my life, family members, friends, acquaintances, people that I've just come across, there have been times where I have been literally on the brink of collapse, ready to just burst into tears, walk out of the room, throw my hands up and say, I'm done. I've had so many times when somebody has just come up to me, given me a hug, and said, you are doing a great job. And to all of those women out there, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being my sisterhood. Until next time.